Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, it says I'm live. Good, good. I think we got our connection. Hello and happy Mop Beard Day. This is a Christmas tradition here at Dan's Fish, and we're happy to have you here. If this is your first Mop Beard event, you're in for a treat. So, here's what we do today to celebrate the holidays. We have some gift cards to give away. We have $500 worth of gift cards. Generated by a very, I was going to say helpful, but that's not the word. Very generous. That's the word. Very generous. Hang on, I got to adjust this down a little bit. Very generous anonymous donor. This is a donor that wishes to remain anonymous and has donated to the Mop Beard event 3 years running, something like that. So I'm sure you're watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You helped make this event awesome. So it's $500 worth, and we're going to do this. We're going to give away two $100 gift certificates to dansfish.com, and then we're going to give away a $300 gift certificate to dansfish.com. So that should be pretty exciting. And that's just to get started. The real prize, of course, is this. This is the fabled Mop Beard. This is 5 spawning mops made into a beard for Christmas. I think if you win this, you will join one of only 3 other people, I guess, maybe, who have received a mop beard. I can't remember exactly how long we've done this. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year, something like that, where we've done this. So a select few. Comes complete with my nasty neck sweat because I'm going to get hot in here. So just be aware of that. Bonus! And that is what we're doing today. So we're going to get to questions and comments and have a fun discussion about aquarium fish and pepper it with some good giveaways. $200 gift certificate giveaways and some other really fun stuff. They changed my screen. My screen that I'm looking at does not look the same. Automated ads help earn more while optimizing. Would you guys like me to automate some ads for you? I'm just joking. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have ads played during the live stream. Now on the replay, you might get a couple, maybe 3, something like that in the course of an hour, hour and a half. So not a ton, but don't worry. During the live, I'm not going to make ads happen. What I am trying to do though is see where they moved the section where I can see how many people are watching. I have no idea. Okay, let's dismiss this give me ads thing. Yeah, okay. So we'll just get going. Okay, so let me show you what I'm seeing. It used to be that there was a screen here where I could see where I was positioned in the camera. And then over here, it would show me how many people were watching and all that kind of stuff. But now it doesn't. So I'm not sure how we're doing. Hopefully there's a ton of people here because this is a very fun event. Okay, so first of all, UberNerd83, welcome to the Fishmonger crew. Thanks for joining the channel. We appreciate that very, very much. That's a great way to support us. Strong style organics neck sweat, yes. I mean, we're in a warehouse that's 79 degrees. It's the temperature we keep it. I just looked at the thermostat and it's 79 straight up, not even like 79.5 or something. And I'm in a hot Santa hat with a this is like, how much insulation is this? I don't know what the R value of this mop beard is, but it's high. I can tell you that just from experience because we don't go cheap on the mops. These are like, look at this. That's a big mop. I'm 6 foot and change. That's a lot of moppage right there, and it's thick. Like, look at that. That thing's got what we call in the garment industry whale. If you're curious what whale is in this context, it's not like, an ocean mammal. It is the height of the fabric. So like corduroy, right? The part that sticks up, that's got a thicker wale than the part that doesn't stick up. Yeah, the things you learn from a career in the entertainment industry. Anyway, let's get talking some fish. I'm going to show you some really, really cool stuff. But first, let's show you how to enter the giveaway for the coveted mop beard. And the way to do that is to enter hashtag Happy Holidays in the chat. Hashtag HAPPYHOLIDAYS. No spaces, capitalization does not matter. Enter Happy Holidays in the chat without any spaces. Hashtag Happy Holidays. And you'll automatically be entered to win some gift certificates, some mop beards, some stuff. We'll do the gift certificates first, and then we'll do the mop beard at the end, probably. And we'll probably change the hashtag to that. I don't know if we will. We'll see how we do it. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, while people are frantically typing Happy Holidays in the chat, I want to show you some stuff because we have some neat stuff available here at dansfish.com. I'm a killifish fanatic. They're my favorite fish in the entire world. This is Apistogramma bivitatum funge, and if you look at it, if it looks familiar, it's because this picture that I took of this fish several years ago, this is a nice male in full display, became the silhouette we used for our logo up here at Dan's Fish. So this logo is literally a black and white stylized silhouette of this fish in this picture. What I like about this species is it has all, let me show you something here. There's a group of killifish called Apistogramma. They're from West Africa. They have amazing coloration. They're absolutely stunning. But there's a subgenus within that genus called chrome Apistogramma, and here's why. If you look at them, you'll kind of see the resemblance. What they generally have is, some stripes going down the body, and a really tall dorsal fin, and a really tall, I guess it's on the bottom, so it's not tall, but a really extended anal fin. And they often have also like a nice lyre tail going on. That's kind of what defines this group of fish: extended dorsal, extended anal, and extended tips on the caudal fin. So if you look at all these pictures, you'll see kind of a theme, right? It's kind of what we see. So this whole group of fish is generally like that. The one that I like the best of that group is the funge, this one. And the reason I like it the best is because it gets larger. It's a larger, kind of more robust, kind of less shy fish. Some of the chrome Apistogramma will just kind of hang out and not be real assertive. They'll be a little bit shy, and they don't get necessarily as big. These are big enough, and their color pattern is bold enough that it's easy to see. A lot of the other ones, they're still gorgeous. I'm not knocking them, but they can be small, and their color scheme, let's Tika, is that one of them? Tika Green? Is that? 2Ks, okay. Oh, geez. Sorry, I thought we were going to look at some killifish. Let's see if I can find a good example of that. Yeah, so this, it's still a gorgeous fish, but this is going to be a small fish, and all these little dots and stuff are going to be it's like a beautiful lacy pattern, but it's small. It's hard for an old guy like me with thick glasses to see, whereas this, bold patterns, I can see that more clearly. So I think that's what drew me to that fish to begin with. Another amazing killifish is Apistogramma gabuens. I think the picture says it all. Absolutely stunning. These are one of the easiest killifish to breed and raise. They're quite hardy, so this is a great beginner's killifish. You don't have to deal with peat moss and all that stuff to spawn these. You can just spawn them like rainbow fish or most other fish that are mop spawners. Both these fish are non-annual, so they don't need to have a dry period or peat moss for the eggs. You could You could put them in peat moss, but often it's not worth the bother, right? If you can just leave them in the water and they'll hatch, hey, that sounds pretty easy for most people. We do have some more Nisonai. These are the Rio Ucayali group, and we have some nice pairs of those. And here's one that we haven't had in a long, long time. This is Dusky Millions fish. Phalloceros is the genus, Catymaculatus. They're highly variable. Some have these black specks all over, and some don't. See the variation within just, see all that black speckling all over and then none here and just a little bit here. So highly variable fish, difficult to find. And there's a university that works with these and they study them. And the reason they study them, the reason they're so kind of neat to research is because this is one of the few fish that nourishes its young in utero, if you will. So most Liberian fish don't do that. Goodeids do that, but most of the others don't. And this is one of the few that does. So we've worked a little bit getting specimens for the University of Riverside out in California so they can continue their research on that. That was a year ago or so now. But they gave us some really cool endlers in exchange. It was a neat thing. Okay, we have some more Apistogramma cockatoides. This is probably the most in-demand Apisto because it's gorgeous, it's easy, and people like it. It's just got that neat coloration, spiky dorsal fin on the males. That's why it's called cockatoides, kind of for cockatoo. So the cockatoo cichlid, if you will. Some Agassizii, some more Agassizii, several varieties of Agassizii. This is one of the most popular Agassizii we have. The other one is the Blue Flame. But, man, the Blue Flame, I list those and they sell out in about 5 minutes. This is one of the other most popular ones because of these gorgeous colors. I mean, look at this thing. That's just an excellent looking fish. I didn't think I'd be bringing this fish in, but a lot of folks were asking, could we just get some regular white cloud mountain minnows? And that rose up really high in the demand list on our website. So at dancefish.com, if there's a fish that we have had in the past but don't have any longer and you want it, you can click add to my wish list, this green button right here. And one of the ways that I determine what fish to bring in is which fish have the most requested, are the most requested on the wish list, right? And so I wasn't planning on bringing these in, but so many of you requested them that I went ahead and did it. I was a little surprised. It's a very common fish. It's not rare. It's gorgeous. It's hardy. It doesn't get too big. It's peaceful. It's a wonderful aquarium fish. One of the highest, most highly recommended aquarium fish for, say, a beginner. But the reason I didn't think that people would want them from us is you can get them dirt cheap at any big box store. But people requested them, so we did bring several in. Now here's one you don't ever see. This is the opposite. This is the black-banded sunfish. It's a fish that's native to the southeastern United States. So you'd think it'd be available in all the pet stores here in the United States because it's native to our country, right? You'd think that'd be easy to get. Nope, not at all. I have to bring these in from Europe. That's the only way I can get them. So, yeah, there's folks in Europe that keep them and breed them, and I buy them from them. Neat little dwarf sunfish, not a pygmy sunfish, a little bigger, but you know, a really big one would be 3 inches. 2.5 inches is probably a little bit more like it. I mean, a true monster might get a little bigger than 3 inches. I'm gonna skip through some of these and look for. Okay, here's one. These are balloon mollies, but these aren't just any balloon mollies. These are like super pricey, ridiculously expensive blue mollies because they come from a breeder that it does the really, really high-end fish. And they are really starkly colored. They have nice finnage. And they cost me a ton of money to bring in. So these are deluxe balloon mollies, the marble platinum balloon mollies. I'm showing you all these pictures so you can see the variety. There's quite a bit of variety in this strain. Some more assassin snails. Gold roseline barbs. Okay, we've been out of these for a long, long time, and part of the issue with gold roseline barbs is some of them have eye trouble. They have trouble seeing. And so before we sold them, we wanted to sort through them and get all the ones that we could out of the batch that had trouble seeing, because most customers are not very happy when they get a fish that doesn't see well in the aquarium. Now, the ones that don't see will still thrive because they have these barbels. Oh, that can we see the barbels here? You can kind of see it there. And there are these sensory barbels that, there you go. There's a nice little barbel coming off that guy. A little Fu Manchu mustache. Because they can sense their environment and the food with the barbels. Now, it's a lot slower than seeing the food zipping over and grabbing it. So if you do have some that have eye issues, you have to be careful that they get enough food that they can find it and eat it and don't get out competed by everyone else in the aquarium. But the ones we're going to send you, as far as I know, as far as I can tell, we've got all the ones out that have vision problems. Now, I could be surprised that missed one that wasn't obvious, or one maybe could develop it later, I suppose. Although by the time they're their current size, they've kind of already developed it most of the time from what I've seen. But anyway, gold roseline barbs back in stock, and these should be really good ones. I should mention on these, read the article I wrote about them here on the listing. One thing you should be aware of is highly variable in the coloration. Some are bright gold, others are pure white, some are gold with a lot of brown mottling on them. Some look pretty much like a regular roseline barb, very few, but some do. So they start off light colored, and then as they age, some will get quite a bit of dark coloring on them. It's just it's just an interesting color variation. And even if it's fixed, even if, I mean, they've for quite a while now bred gold ones and bred gold ones and bred gold ones, but that kind of piebald mottle pattern can still emerge in them. Some don't get it at all, a lot get some, and some go almost completely brown. So just be aware of that. Now, this is what I think is one of the most stunning little guppies out there. It reminds me of a little bumblebee. This is the yellow tiger king cobra guppy. When you don't see often, it's got the yellow cobra on it, and then it's got these kind of black splotches that gesture towards a vertical stripe, which is why they call them tiger. They're just a little bit unlike anything else, and I like it. I like that dark contrast between that mottled dark pattern in the rest of the fish. I just think it gives it a little something extra. Some Gertrude Aru 4. This is one of the most popular pseudomugils out there, also a difficult one to find. True Aru 4s are difficult to find. And the reason they're special is they have these yellow and orange tips on the fins, which when they dance and spread out are just absolutely spectacular and stunning. Corridorus pantanolensis, one of the prettiest. Let me see if I can find a picture of an adult. Most catfish, most Corridorus type catfish, aren't colorful. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Wilder. Must be the night before Christmas. I need a nap. A lot of them have patterns and things, but there's a whole group that's just kind of brown. Like a lot of them are just kind of brown. This, I think, is one of the prettiest ones. It has a really neat reticulated pattern on it, and that also has a lot of iridescent blue-greenish coloration, which cameras just don't pick up iridescence very well. You can kind of see it on this one. There you go. That's a pretty good picture. And they're dimorphic, so the males get that and the females don't. So here is a male, and here's a female. And they all start off looking like females. But as they mature, Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. As they mature, some of them will get that reticulated pattern with that really, really pretty iridescence on it. So nice looking fish. Oh, also they're huge. They get big. They're a big, robust fish when they're fully mature. So that's a neat one. Fairly pricey. They're not common, but they are sure pretty. Let's see here. Oh, this is another killifish, so I guess I have to talk about it. This is Apistogramma poliaki, another chrome Apistogramma type. Beautiful fins, beautiful fish. I wish I could get pictures of them fully spread like I did on the funge, because that's when you really appreciate these guys. But this one isn't necessarily as common as some of the other species. But I think they're gorgeous chrome Apistogramma. Man, it's been forever since I've had Madagascar rainbows. But I've got a nice group in if that's one you want. Now, I think they're Madagascarensis because, and the reason I think that is I had a discussion with oh, geez. What's the name of the ichthyologist that did all the work on Madagascar? He passed away recently. I had lunch with him a couple years ago and was picking his brain about this, and for some reason... Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I have forgotten his name. Oh, geez. Now I have to know. It just went... Paul? Isn't his first name Paul? Paul Loisel. Okay. Phew. There we go. Yeah. Dr. Paul Loisel. I don't know why my brain just went, boop. You're not going to remember that right now, Dan. But anyway, I had a lunch with him a few years ago, and I was picking his brain on these fish because he's one of the true experts on the fish from Madagascar. And the information I got there made it seem like almost all the ones we have in the hobby are probably Madagascarensis. So that's the guess. They're not sold as that, but that's probably what they are. What I should probably do just to be safe is put Bidotia species, because it's really rare to find. The ones that are produced in the industry are not usually what they're sold as, but you're not going to find the other ones pretty much. So, yeah. All right. I think the rest of these I've talked about. Oh, I do want to say this. I think I mentioned this before, but I've put the mountain grunters on sale. I rarely ever put anything on sale, and the only reason is they're starting to get a little bigger, and I would like to sell them off before they get so big that it's like, oh great, now I have to get a specialized shipping box and all that stuff. So they're still small enough I can ship them normally. I'm just looking to move them before they get too big on me and they're difficult to ship. So that's why I put them on sale. There's nothing wrong with them or anything. So yeah. Nick from Hard Water says, hit that like button for the beard. For the beard. Like, look at that. Look at that. So that's kind of the neat stuff that we have listed for sale recently at dansfish.com. We'll have a whole bunch more stuff, I hope, by the end of this week listed. And yeah, if you're looking for fish, we make our living by selling them at dansfish.com. So we appreciate all the commerce we can get. All right, let's chat about, let's do a giveaway. Let's give away a $100 gift certificate. We're going to do that right now. And the winner out of 347 entries of the first Dan's Fish giveaway is J number 4. J number 4, you have won almost. In order to finalize your winnings, you need to leave a comment in the chat within 2 minutes. So by the time this timer hits 2 minutes, we need a comment in the chat. If we don't get one, then the rules are you forfeit your winnings and I will draw somebody else. I hate to do that to you, but the rules is the rules, and you know, we got to keep civilization rolling, so we can't break the rules. As George Costanza says, you live in a society. So anyway, we'll check back in a bit and see if J number 4 has chimed in the chat before the 2-minute mark. And if so, then J number 4 wins a $100 gift certificate donated by a very generous anonymous donor who's been supporting this specific Mopbeard stream for years. So thanks to that person. It's hard to drink with a Mopbeard. J number 4, you've got about 1 minute left. I'm getting nervous for you. Okay, if we don't hear from Jay in the next minute or so, we'll draw somebody else. Okay, so let's get to the next one. Denise, I said it right. Planted Tank Girl. Has it been a year already? Definitely doesn't feel like it. Merry Christmas all. Hey, thanks for being a member for a year. I appreciate the continued support and all the memberships that have been given away as well. There it goes. Yep, there it is. Denise, thank you so much for gifting Dan's five Dan's Fish gift memberships. Okay. Yeah. Reading's hard. It's like Kevin on The Office says, yeah, math is hard. And it's hilarious because he's the accountant. I added blueberry snails to my wish list, hoping you get those again soon. I hope so too. They've become more available by the vendors, but I'm just trying to figure out how to have success with them before I bring a whole bunch in and try to sell them. I brought some in earlier and we sold some in the past, and they're tricky snail. Like, I didn't know there were snails that were like, I don't know if you call them hard, but needed some figuring out, but they appear to be one. So I do plan to bring more in. I just want to make sure that I know how to care for them properly and get them feeding and all that stuff before I do, so I can make sure they're nice and healthy for you. Excuse me. And can pass that information on so you guys have success as well. I'm curious, has anyone else here had trouble with the blueberry snails? And if so, and I want like actual experience. Now, I heard this, or I read this, or I was on Reddit and someone said this. Like your own direct experience, have you had good success? And if so, what do you think, how do you do that? That's what I want to know. How do you do that? There's some thought that they could be filter feeders. And I think there might be some truth to that. So we're playing with foods that they can filter feed. But I haven't really cracked it yet. Cody's Fin Fam. Hey, Cody, thanks for joining up. Welcome to the Fishmonger crew. Janice, hello. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thanks for being a member for 10 months. That's awesome. I appreciate the continued support. Ahmed, how do you get the cories to release their venom before shipping? I don't do that. I know the kick the bucket method. I followed Ted Judy for 20 years, and he's the one that kind of popularized that. And I have the deepest respect for Ted Judy, but I have never found it necessary to devenomize the cories. So I have, on very few occasions, seen them release their toxins. And what I observed is that it seems to be an almost involuntary thing. They'll go into this like S-shaped kind of curve and kind of twitch, and it's like they're having a stroke or a seizure or something. And it doesn't seem to be something they really control. It's like they have to be like, okay, the best way I know to describe this, and pardon how I'm going to describe this, but it's the best way I know, is like if you got so scared that your bladder released. It's like you didn't control that. It's just you were so like, your body took over and that happened, right? So with the cories, is that from what I've observed, it has to be that kind of extreme situation for them to do that. And hardly ever through shipping and handling and all that does it seem like they have the stimulus necessary to result in that kind of result. So, so we don't do that. We do put carbon in all the bags we ship the cories in. There's some thought that the carbon might absorb the toxin if they do release it. But the truth is, here's the straight truth. The only reason we do that is because we had so many comments from customers when we didn't, about where's the carbon, because it's been popularized that you need to ship cories with carbon. So the truth is, I don't know that the carbon makes a difference, but it makes a difference on the customer service side. We have a lot less emails to respond to about where's the carbon with my cories, so we just do it. But I've yet to prove out that the carbon makes a difference. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying I haven't seen any direct evidence that it does. And so, yeah, that's what I think about that. Now, I know there's a lot of cory experts who would argue differently, and that's fine, but, and I have the greatest respect for them, I really, really do. But I just go on my experience. Like, someone can say something, but if I've experienced something quite different, then that's what I'm going to go with. Why wouldn't I? All right, Ben Baker has also joined the Fishmonger crew. Look at all the members are like flooding the chat. New members are joining up. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. The Montana of Kansas. Not confusing at all. Give me a second to wet my whistle. Montana of Kansas. I have red rose guppies that have an issue with their dorsal fins. Once full grown, the dorsal fins looks like it's blown up like a foil balloon. Any ideas? So is this a strain you're breeding, and like all of them, once they get to a certain stage of development, experience that? Or is this one where like every now and then you'll see it? There are strains of fish, so I'd have to be there and look at it with you to know exactly what you're talking about. But something I've noticed that's similar is there are strains of fish, of guppies, that once they reach a certain maturity, they grow to a certain adulthood, I guess, you'll start seeing like a thickening on the fins or a thickening on some scales and stuff. And if you give that time, it grows into what looks like kind of like tumors or something like that. So whenever I encounter one of those strains, I feed it to my resident puffer, and I just don't buy from that strain from that breeder anymore. It seems to be pretty prevalent in some of the koi guppy strains, in some of the others as well. It's not like you don't see it all the time, but every now and then you'll run into it where you'll get a batch and you'll grow them up and you'll be like, dude, half of these have these things on them, right? So there is some kind of genetic thing there, and I don't know much more about it than that. So I'm not quite sure. Beyond what I described, I've never seen like a dorsal fin where the whole thing blows up, but I have seen thickenings of fins that are due to things that over time kind of look like tumors on the fins. Now, I don't want to give the impression that this is really common. I don't want to give the impression that don't get guppies because they're all going to have this. That's not true. This is not a common thing. If it were, I just wouldn't keep guppies. But every now and then you'll run into a strain like that. What are some good tank mates for rosy barbs? I'm going to assume these are short fin rosy barbs. So if that's the case, well, it's pretty much this. There are a few fish that you can keep with rosy barbs that you wouldn't necessarily want to keep with long fin rosy barbs just because they might nip the long fins. They're just so tempting, right? As they move through the water, those long wavy fins. It's like a Mepps lure in front of a trout. So I think rainbow fish would be a great companion with rosy barbs. They might go okay with long fin rosy barbs too. If I had a tank full of rosy barbs, I would have them, and I'd get a good sized group of them so you see all the interaction and behavior and things. And then on top of them, I would probably get something like a silver hatchet fish or a decent sized hatchet fish to be up at the surface level of the aquarium. I think those could hang with rosy barbs just fine. And then on the bottom, trying to think of something that would easily go on the bottom that wouldn't get outcompeted by rosy barbs. And I think I would go with some kind of small synodontis or something like that, maybe a lucipinnis or petricola. Is it lucipinnis, I think, that stays fairly small? Yeah, something like that. And the reason I would use that catfish on the bottom instead of, say, corridors or something is those catfish are fast eaters. So the issue with rosy barbs is if you have a big group of them, they mob the food. I don't think they're aggressive fish, but they'll eat the food before a lot of other fish can get to it. They can outcompete other fish for food. But I think hatchets can compete with them, especially if you feed some on the bottom. The rosy barbs all go to the bottom, then you feed some on the top for the hatchets. And I think that synodontis are kind of active enough and kind of go nuts enough when it's feeding time that they could compete with them as well. So things like that are what I would look for, that inhabit different areas of the water column than the rosy barbs. So you have something on the bottom, rosy barbs kind of towards the middle-ish. They kind of go all over, and then hatchets up top. But you could do all kinds of other fish. Anything that's of decent size is not super aggressive, but is quick to the food. Rainbow fish, some of the larger tetras would be fine. Congo tetras, stuff like that. So that's the kind of thing I would think about. What I want to try now is seeing if anyone responded to my question about blueberry snails and how if they've had success keeping them and how so. Let's see here. Oh, someone here says corridors definitely have venom. Oh, I know. They have an ancillary gland like at the base of their pectoral fin that has a toxin in it. And yeah, I know that it's there. What I'm saying is I don't know that there's any need to like scare it out of them before shipping them, or that the carbon helps during shipping. And it's very rare that they eject it. Okay, let's see here. My blueberry snails never moved after I dropped them in my tank. It's been a year, so assuming they didn't make it. Oh, jeez. Assume away. Mikey M. I failed with the blueberries. I have soft water. They dropped off one after another first month. Never tried them again. No idea what happened. Merry Christmas. Super Dad. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see here. Someone said, gross, Dan. Just kidding. Well, I don't know what that was in reference to, but yeah, it can be gross. Sure. Neck sweat? Let's see here. Trying to see. My Orange River snails didn't do well. Lost all three within a few months. I've heard they can be as tricky as the blueberries, but that could be wrong. They do seem very similar to the blueberries to me in their behavior and stuff. So I wonder if it's the same kind of thing. All of mine pass. I think we're talking about blueberries, but I also can't keep rabbit snails for the life of me either, so nothing definitive there. I don't keep snails on purpose, but I'm excited for my new Limia melanogaster pair. Yeah, those are a pretty little fish. They flourished for me, and then they all disappeared one day. Huh. Did well when I was feeding really heavy. I got blueberry snails. They all died in 2 weeks. So, okay, so it's not just me. Yes, I struggled with them. I need to know the secret to keep them. Yeah, blueberry snails seem to be... This is why I haven't brought a bunch in, right? I don't want to bring in an animal and just be like, well, I know these are all going to die, but I'll sell them real quick and make some money. I want to really figure them out before I spread them around. Okay. Yeah, as far as I know, that's kind of the state of the hobby with blueberry snails. Every now and then I hear of someone having success, but they only have a few maybe, and it's a big tank, and so maybe there's just natural stuff for them to graze on. But what I'm trying to figure out is how to keep a big group together and thriving. See if anybody else has had success with blueberry snails. Man, that's a little depressing. I was hoping that someone could be like, yeah, I have success with them. But that's a little bit of a sad tale that everyone in the chat at least has tried them and has responded. Has also struggled with them. My friend actually just had his first blueberry snail successfully give birth. Oh, that's good. Hey, there's a little silver lining. I tried and failed with the blueberries. My water, same as yours, very hard water. Oh, good. I have hard water. They must like it because they're doing fine and it's been a month. Cinnamon Girl, congratulations. That's awesome. What are you feeding them? Could you give me some info? What I'm curious is, like, mainly, what do they eat? Like, what do you see them grazing? Do you see them filter feeding? Like, what are they eating, do you think? I remember that, if I remember right, Chris Lukup said they filter feed from the surface. Yeah, and I have seen that behavior. I've seen them filter feed, and I've seen them do it from the surface. I don't know if that means they only do it from the surface. I'd be a little surprised, but I think if you feed food that floats, they're going to end up at the surface to eat it because that's where the food is. But Chris Luca definitely said that they filter feed. I don't know if he said from the surface. Not exactly a ringing endorsement for blueberry snails. Yeah, but when we do figure them out, it'll be awesome because they really are a beautiful snail. They're a really neat animal. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if Cinnamon Girl can share any knowledge about feeding them. And yeah. Yeah, it sounds like everyone else pretty much, though, is in the same boat as I am. Adam Lash 3966. It has been a great week. I pulled a spawn of my Ukrainian strain of Blue Pinoy Periaba angels, and I collected 12 eggs from my oh, really? Hephaestus cories. That's great. That's great. Those cories especially. Yep. I hope one day a lot of people can enjoy those cories because they're gorgeous. Okay, let's see. There's been some other action here. Let's make sure we thank everybody. Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics. Hello, Bob. Thank you for the super sticker, and I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas, my good friend. Really appreciate you. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday. Eric the Mantis has joined the Fishmonger crew. Welcome to the channel. Well, there's a lot of people at the channel that aren't members. Welcome to channel memberships. And then Mountaintop Puffer Keeper. Hey, my friend, I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays, Dan. Book live on Lulu Bookstore with detailed puffer info. I approved the proof tonight for worldwide sale. Wild to send it into forever. Matt, can you email me a link real quick? So then I want to share it. Or, okay, let's go to Lulu and look for Puffer. Lulu. Not Lululemon. Get out of here. And how do I search? Bookstore. There we go. Puffer. I bet I can find it. There can't be that many Puffer books. There's a surprisingly large number of things that show up when you search for a Puffer book on Lulu. The Tartan Puffer and the Puffer Pluffer Splue. 5 best Puffer jackets. How to find this? Tetraodon? Let's try searching for Tetraodon. Oh, no, it did this thing. Tetraodon. Ah, found it. Dun, 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 dun. If you want to know about pufferfish, Matthew Proctor, aka Mountaintop Puffer Keeper, who has bred more puffers than anyone else I know, has written a book on this subject, on puffers and breeding them and all that stuff. Here it is. I'm going to put a link in the chat. That is exciting, my friend. Congratulations. So here's the link. Did that link go through okay? Okay, if I will click on that, will it take me there? It does. All right. So, from what I understand, this is a very nice hardcover book. And so if you want to have some bragging rights and be a person that knows a lot about puffers, check out Matt's book. Matt, that's awesome. Congratulations, my friend. I think that's super, super exciting. Man, it's a lot of work getting a book out, isn't it? Okay, hold on. What? There we go. Chat got stuck for a second. Okay, scrolling up to our next thing, which is gonna be a giveaway. All right. Oh, wait, there it is. J number 4. I totally forgot about you, Jay. J number 4 did chime in a minute and 8 seconds. Oh, just after I clicked off. What do I need to do to claim my gift card? I'm here. All right. J number 4, just send us an email to hello@dansfish.com. Say, hey, I'm J number 4. I'm the winner. And we'll get that sent to you. We'll email you an electronic copy of it or electronic access to it, I guess, a code. So you can shop at dansfish.com and use your $100 gift certificate. So awesome. Congratulations. Thank you again to our very generous anonymous donor who has supplied the gift certificates for, I think, 3 years running or something like that here for the Mop Beard event on the Dansfish YouTube channel. All right, the next winner, another $100 gift certificate to give away. All right. Are you ready? The winner is Fin Fanatics. Fin Fanatics, congratulations. Same thing, you have 2 minutes to chime in. Once this timer hits 2 minutes, if you haven't chimed in, you forfeit your winnings. We'll just draw somebody else. So get on there, leave something in the chat. You can say anything, and and we'll get you a $100 gift certificate. Sorry about the little cough. I keep breathing in bits of fluff from this, and it's tickling my throat. Tickling pretty good. Since the view here has changed, I wanted to scroll over and make sure I'm in frame okay. Hopefully I haven't gone for 49 minutes out of frame. Nope, we're good. Okay. Hey, it's Fluffy Cow. Hello, my neighbor. I hope you're doing well over there across the mountain. Happy holidays from the other side of our small town of Wyoming. Yep, Wyoming is just a small city with really long streets. Okay, let's see here. What else is going on in chat world? Ladina White. Is it Dina or LaDeana? LaDeana. It's probably Ladina. But let's go with LaDeana, because I'm feeling fancy tonight. I got a pair of Apistogramma Rio... start again. Too fancy. I got a pair of Apisto Nisani Rio Tigre. Love these guys. The females have been trying to court the male, but he seems disinterested and chases her away. Should I just give them more time? Yeah, that's the secret with Apistos, is patience. The other thing you can do, though, is you can put another tank next to that tank with some Apistos in it in clear glass so they can see each other through the tank, but put a piece of paper or something between the glass so that only like a fourth, 25% of the window from tank to tank is visible. So they'll have privacy, but they'll see each other often enough through that area that's, open to view, that they'll spar through that and everything. And that sparring back and forth will strengthen their pair bond. They now have something to like defend their spawning site against and defend their babies against and all that. It's not going to actually hurt their babies, but they don't know that. So that is one of the ways to get Apistos to spawn and to make a strong pair bond, is give them something that they need to compete against, that they need to come together against. But in such a way that that thing isn't actually going to, eat the eggs or the babies. So that's my biggest trick for Apistos. And just time. Time. Good food. I've heard, I don't know if I've I don't doubt this. I'm just saying I don't know that I have enough information to say that I know this, but I've heard that, feeding live baby brine shrimp and other things like that, microworms, that kind of stuff, can help. This thing is getting itchy and making me have a little tickle in my throat. So that A, they get some good quality food, but B, that they're like, oh, there's food here for babies, we can spawn now. I'm not sure if that's, who knows what the fish is actually thinking, but can't hurt. The worst is they get some good food. Tim Cromer 5915. Hey, thank you so much for gifting a gift certificate, or a membership. Sorry, for gifting a membership to someone here so they can join up the Dan's Fish channel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tim. Let's see where we got someone to claim the giveaway. Yes, at 47 seconds, Finn Fanatic said, "Man, I'm stoked. Thank you. You rock, Dan." I might rock a little bit, but the true rock star tonight is the very generous person who donated the gift certificates for the giveaway. So that's who rocks. So thank you so much again. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. Jay Huckabee, Merry Christmas and hail the Fishmonger crew. Thanks for continuing to be an awesome crew. Yep, we keep rowing this boat. Come on, crew. Let's keep on rowing. We'll get there someday, wherever there is. I guess that's death. I don't know. Eventually we'll get there. Montana of Kansas. That is similar, and they do happen to be mixed with koi guppies. It's about 1 in 5 males, specifically guppies, get the balloon-looking fin. Old username is Montana AIDS, if you remember. I do. I like Montana of Kansas. I think it's a good one. Montana AIDS was fine, too. Or Ades. I never know exactly how to say these things. Golden Nugget Plecos and happy holidays. Well, happy holidays right back at you. I mean, if there's any doubt, I'm kind of in a holiday mood. Like, I don't know how to make it much more obvious. M. Broom. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to hear from you. Per a paper that came out a few months ago, Synodontis petricola and Lucipinus are considered the same species. Finally. Like, people have been arguing about that forever. They say there are not enough difference between them. All right. Works for me. Although we'll probably still call them different just in case, right? Because that's kind of what we do in the hobby. And once something's entrenched, it's hard to untrench it. Untrench it. Yeah, we'll go with that. I tried and failed with the blue. Oh, okay. I already read that comment about the blueberries. The Oink Master. Of course, first hugs and happy holidays to use. Is the care for Demon Eye Hillstream Loaches any different from other Hillstreams? No. I'm brainstorming making lists of future tank purchases. No. Same care. Yeah. Oh, they're awesome. Are they my favorite Hillstream Loach? Oh, jeez. There's been times they've been my favorite Hillstream Loach. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. Eleanor McDonald, 6420. What is the best food for Hillstream type loaches? Is it the same for something like Bloody Mary loach than something like blue-tailed Borneo suckers? So, pretty much all the Hillstreams, from what I've experienced, we'll feed some frozen foods like frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp. If they're really small, maybe some baby brine shrimp. But the staple of the diet is like extreme monster pellets or Hikari Carnivore Delight, I think. Big sinking pellets that stay water stable for a long time, that they can kind of graze on for a long period of time. Rapashi might be something to do as well. I haven't done Rapashi in a while. Just, the boiling and the prep for 500 tanks versus being able to grab a jar of pellets. But Rapashi might be a good option as well. And then we'll also give algae wafers so that they, one day we'll feed the monster pellets or carnivore delight or whatever. And then the next day we'll feed some veggies. So that's what we like to do. When we first get them in and we're first getting them to start eating, then live or frozen foods is a good way to get them to start going. It might not be the perfect long-term diet, but just to get them the appetite stimulated and moving, we found those work pretty well. The exception to this would be the Homoloptera species, the more lizard-type loaches of that genus. There are a few of those that we've found are a lot harder to get to eat the dry foods. And so the staple for those tends to be the frozen and live foods. But almost all of them, and those as well, I think, with time. Sinking, water stable, doesn't just, disintegrate into powder quickly. That kind of stuff is what you want to go for. Montana of Kansas. Okay. Talking about the guppies. Yeah, some strains just have weird thickenings. Ooh, chat jumped. Let me get up there. Let me get back. I'm going. I'm trying. Jay Huckabee, how very generous of you. Thank you so much. Oh, I already thanked you. Well, thank you twice. I guess a $50 super chat deserves to be thanked twice. So there you go. Where was I at? I think I already said hello to Fin Fanatics OKC, or didn't I? Well, hello. I don't remember if I did or not. So hello. And Lady New Giardia? Lady New Giardia. That can't be right. Lady New Gridia. That's probably your last name, and I probably just insulted you horribly. Sorry if I didn't mean to. Lady New Gridia. I'm going with that. Do you think a full-grown Synodontis Shodene could be kept with an Oscar and Merry Christmas? I'm so not well versed in those kinds of larger fish. I don't really know. That's just the truth. Has anyone here in the chat kept those species together? And if so, did you have long-term success? I have seen large Synodontis kept with large, very aggressive cichlids long-term. I have seen that happen, but I don't have direct experience with it, and I've never tried those two species. So let's see if someone else can chime in who has direct experience. Have you seen the study on Hillstream loach suction patterns? The CT scan of the Sewellia and Gastromyzon is very cool. I don't know if I've seen the same one you're referring to, but I have seen studies with that, yes. Well, I say studies. I've seen a study with that. Yeah, absolutely. There's some awesome work being done on the Hillstream loaches, and it needs to be done because we don't really understand those fish super well yet. I still think they're going to eventually become kind of like what plecos have become. Just there's all these amazing, really neat ones, a lot of variation in pattern, a lot of really beautiful ones with bright colors, and we're assigning, I guess you call it S numbers to them. As opposed to L numbers. But I think it's going to be kind of the same thing. I think pretty soon Hillstream loaches are going to be similar to plecos in how they're collected and thought of in the hobby. I think they're awesome. La Diana will let us know about the Epistos. Yeah, I hope they go for you. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's competition. Sometimes it's both. I've got a guppy rack of blue ivory guppies. Are you interested in 70 fry? Matt, I would maybe. The truth is I want something like 200 and not fry. I would need them to be sexable, big enough that they're pretty and sexable before I could sell them. But I am interested in that fish. Just need it in sufficient quantity and at a sufficient size. If anyone here has fish they're breeding, we do love buying fish from hobbyist breeders. So send us an email to hello@dancefish.com. That's HELLO@dancefish.com. Let us know what you've got. If we can know the species, the quantity, the size, and the price you're thinking of, then that's a good starting point. We'll reply with some information and see if we can go from there. But it's hard for me to justify just 70 when it comes to guppies. A couple hundred is what I'd like to do. 150, something like that. All right. Where are we? Let's see. We did a giveaway. Yeah, okay. We did that one. That one's done. All right. Cool. I was like, did we finalize that? So I should say, because I just didn't before. Where'd it go? Oh, geez. Did I get out of the giveaway? No. Tell me I didn't do that. I did. Folks, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to, but I backed out of the giveaway somehow. So please feel free to re-enter. Hashtag happy holidays. If you put that in the chat, you'll be re-entered to win. And yeah, because I pressed back thinking it would take me away from that screen and I could do something else. But what it did is it took me out of the giveaway completely and like got rid of it. So please enter hashtag happy holidays again in the chat. No spaces, capitalization doesn't matter to re-enter because we are going to be drawing a $300 gift certificate some point tonight. I got a small group of Impanichthes I can never say this one. I know it, but I can never say it. Paraupiranga? Paraupiranga. Did you say that just so I'd have to try to say that on air? My Christmas is already a success. Yes. Also got Fry the Hongloy. Hongsloy, is that it? Apistogramma? That's one I'm not familiar with. I don't think you're trying to say Hongsloy. I think it's Hoignai. Let's look at this one. Yeah. Yeah, this is one I've never seen in person. I know this fish. Look at this. Not one I've ever actually seen. Pretty little fish, though. Reminds me of a McMasteri. I'm going to assume that it's in the same clad as like a McMasteri. But really neat little pisto. Got a rare pair of Rivulus ziphidus to work on. Awesome. I mean, that's what I call them too. I call them Rivulus ziphidus, but I believe they changed the genus name again recently, but we can call them Rivulus. Why not? Sounds like you have a mop-beard allergy. It's just these little bits of fluff. Like, I can literally feel it. Because I just made this, and so there's fresh cuts in the yarn and stuff, and so there's little bits of it kind of floating around my face. As a self-appointed unpaid representative for Green Pleco Company plushies, some plushies attached to your spawning up would look fantabulous. They would indeed. Little plushies. Okay, had Orange River snails. They had babies, and I treated the tank with levamisole, and they all died, even though the box said it was invertebrate safe. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How long did you have them? Ahmed, so sometimes snails will have babies like right away. It's very common when I get a fresh import of snails that there's babies in the bag and lots of babies will appear over the next few days. And I think it might be like I'm not saying this is what happened in your case, but sometimes I think it's a stress response of like, well, things are uncertain right now, so I guess I'm going to push out this kid real quick so that if something does happen to me, at least the next generation's got a shot, right? So sometimes people are like, I got a snail, it had babies, everything's going well, but sometimes I think the babies can be a stress response. I've noticed this especially with like, if you take ram's horn snails or something, take a container, get a plastic bag, like a plastic fish bag that's never had anything in it, just a new one. Put some water from the aquarium the snails are in that bag, And then put some snails in there, adult ram's horn snails or pond snails, either one. They'll both do this. Within half an hour, there's going to be egg cases all over that thing. And it's just, there's just some response to that kind of, that stress of being moved into this new environment that prompts that. And I don't know what it is exactly, but I've seen that lots of times. So that's why I'm curious, is that you had them and then they had babies and then that happened, or were you able to keep them for a long, long time? So that's what I'm curious, is how do we keep them for a long, long time? By the way, did Cinnamon Girl tell us what she fed hers? Can someone chime in the chat and let me know if Cinnamon Girl let us know how she kept hers for a while? Because I think I missed it. At this point, trying to find it by going back up is probably impossible. All right. What a friend has said regarding blueberry snails, their algae, biofilm, and filter feeders do best with lots of wood in a well-established tank with biofilm. Yeah, the problem is lots of people have kept them in tanks like that, and they still haven't had success. Yeah, they're just tricky. They're tricky. Gorgeous, worth the effort. Hopefully one day we do figure them out, but yeah, they're tricky species. Do you know if the Pelvicachromis pulcher morphs are from the same collection point, or any of the Pelvicachromis species that have different color morphs from the same location? So it depends. So Pelvicachromis, it's actually a genus with lots of species in it. In Pulcher, there are some morphs, such as an albino. There's a super red and others. I don't know the provenance of them all. I honestly have no idea. Would they be from the same collection point? I have no idea. But they've been in the aquarium hobby long enough that it almost doesn't matter, because to develop a new color morph strain of a species, it's probably been in aquariums for many, many, many generations. And so it's probably been mixed with lots of other fish from lots of other collections. And so by the time that happens, the collection point probably doesn't mean very much. If you're asking about the wild Pelvicachromis that have different color morphs, then those are from different locations. Often, you can have a location that has a blue phase or a red phase of the same fish. It's the same species. You can have that. But most of the Pelvicachromis come from different areas. Yes, but so it's different. If we're talking about ones developed in domesticated situations, no one knows the collection point, and it's probably doesn't have much meaning. If you're talking about the wild ones, different species or very different looking fish of the same species, those come from different collection points. Yes. Okay, Timotheo's Leahy. That's what I'm going with. Most robust fish for Wallstead type setup, a beta? I guess it's Wallstad, not Wallstead. So I'm not an expert in the Wallstad method, but for those that don't know what that is, we're talking about a planted tank that has a lot of dirt in the tank, and that's covered with gravel and sand and stuff so that the dirt stays down. But what that means is you can't really mess with the plants. Oh, I gotta switch the, geez, how long have we been on that screen? You can't really mess with the plants because if you do, that dirt will have access to the top. So it won't all be under a nice sand cap anymore. It'll come out and be on top of it, and it can get messy pretty quick. So fish that you could put in there that wouldn't screw things up. Geophagus, Corydor. No, I'm just joking. Those are going to dig like crazy. Horseface loaches. No. Don't do that. Yeah, bettas. I mean, tetras. Like, there's lots of fish in a tank that aren't going to disturb the plants or the substrate. So I guess what I would do is a fish that won't disturb the plants or the substrate and is also really easy to catch. so that if you need to move it, you aren't have to like disturb the plants yourself as you try to catch the fish and move it or whatever. So yeah, Betta would definitely fit the bill. Is it true that Corridor's Pantanonensis males don't show color all the time? Can they turn it on and off? I don't know if they can turn it on and off, but they don't have it till they reach a certain maturity level. The ones I've seen that have matured out and colored up, I've never seen them turn it off again. I don't know that that doesn't happen, but I've had a few for quite a while, and once they colored up, I never saw them uncolor. Maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe it needs more time for that to happen. I don't know. But you'd think that, like, 6 months or more would probably be enough time to see that. But yeah, I never saw it. So I don't know for sure. Okay, folks. We're going to do another giveaway, and then we're going to do the real prize. But this one is for a $300 gift certificate to dansfish.com. So, for $300, not too shabby at all. Merry Christmas, by the way, from me and our anonymous donor. Rosie2155, you have won. Rosie2155. I'm going to write a note here so I remember who got which ones. You have won. You have 2 minutes to chime in. By the time this timer reaches 2 minutes, you need to have left a comment in the chat to claim your winnings. If you don't, you forfeit your winnings and we'll draw somebody else. And that would be a bummer. Well, for you, it'd be great for somebody else. Rosie2155. $300. All right. So we'll check back in a bit. If you have a comment left here before this reached 2, then you'll win. Hey, there it is. OMG, thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for participating. Thanks for being part of the community. Thanks for making this fun. Okay. So $500 has been given away. That's great, but it's about to get real. Let's do the giveaway for the mop beard, the true prize of the holidays. Okay, it's not very original, but it's easy to remember. Hashtag mop beard, hashtag MOPBEARD. No spaces, capitalization doesn't matter. If you enter that in the chat, you could be the winner of the one, the only, the highly coveted 2005 mop beard. You would be one of like 3 or 4 people in the entire world who has won a mop beard. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, we'll get to another question or comment here in the chat. When will the mop beard be available on the website? The best gag gift for the fish keeper in your life, the mop beard. I mean, it is kind of a gag gift, but it's also super useful. You've got 5 amazing, nice, thick, hardy spawning mops. These aren't cheap little flimsy things made from hunter green acrylic yarn, the best that you can get at Walmart, and an airline strap. What more could you want? Okay, so let me scroll up here because chat just jumped from all the... Oh, I can't. The mop beard forced, all the mop beard entries forced the chat to jump. So I literally have no comments to respond to. Okay. I literally can't see the comments. If you left a comment and I didn't get to it before it jumped, feel free to leave it again. I'll have time to get to a couple probably before we see who the winner is. Who is going to have the ultimate fashion accessory? Yeah. Yeah, it's something you could wear to your family's Christmas gathering. You could wear it Christmas shopping, and pretty soon everyone will want a mop beard. It's going to be a thing. They'll probably wonder, like, If you wore the mop beard with a Grinch outfit, people would probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Green on green. All right. Oh, man. How often are wish list fish back in stock? The northern mountain swordtail, for example. It really varies, Eric the Mantis. There are some fish where if a lot of people want it and it's on the wish list and it's available, I'll just get it. I can get it and I can put it through a 2-week quarantine like we do all of our fish, and then it's available. So probably a week to order it, 2 weeks to make sure it's healthy, and then send it. But then there's other fish that are just super difficult to get, and the one you want is that. The Montezuma swords are very, very hard to obtain, the northern mountain swordtails. So that's not a fish that's a fish that if I had any, I would just get it because it's amazing and so many people want it. The problem is there's almost no supply. I think 3 times, something like that, over the last 5 years, I've been able to bring in a nice big group of that fish and sell them. So there's lots of fish that are on the wish list that I want to bring in, but they aren't available. And so I can't. And I will as soon as I can, but I have no idea when that will be. And then there's other fish on the wish list, which, like in the last year, only 3 people have added to their wish list. There's just no demand for them. So it doesn't make sense for me to bring them in, because I can bring them in, but nobody wants them. They won't sell. So the hobbyist in me is like, yeah, let's get them all. They're awesome. But the businessman in me is like, it doesn't make much sense to bring in fish that won't sell when there's plenty of other fish that people have requested that will sell, and I should focus on those. So it's a question of how in demand is it and how available is it? And it kind of has to do with those 2 things. So there's a lot of fish that we get emails all the time about, when is this going to come back? When is this going to come back? And the truth is, often we just don't know because we have no idea when the supply will be available. And then other times it's like, oh yeah, we've just decided not to get those because we got them and they just didn't sell. And then other times it's like, oh yeah, those are coming in, and if they arrive and do well, then they should be available in a couple of weeks. So it just really depends on those things. But we try never to be out of stuff that's in demand by a lot of people. The only reason we would be out of that is if the supply just isn't stable or it's hard to find or something like that. Yeah, we want to sell fish, so if people want it, we try to have it in stock. Hey, this is interesting. Ivan says, my Homolopteroides smithii, oh, what a neat little fish, eats dry food, loves pellets, and Aquarium Co-op fry food. Yeah, awesome. That's great. That's great. Yeah, when you can get them there, it makes it a lot easier to keep them, that's for sure. Okay, there's 218 entries in for the mop beard specifically. That makes my little heart happy. 219. It looks like folks are still joining up for the mop beard. So I'll get one more question, comment, etc. I spent a little more time over here, so Beal will have some more time to join up. Excited to get my shipment from you tomorrow. West Java pea puffer, emerald rasboras, and algae eating shrimp. I'm excited for you to get it as well. Yeah, those are all really neat animals. I guess I should tell you, so you should get them tomorrow, but it wasn't easy. There's a massive windstorm up in Billings today, so usually we send the fish out of our local airport in Sheridan, they fly to Billings, and then they fly to Tennessee, to the hub, Louisville, Kentucky. FedEx is the one in Tennessee, UPS is Kentucky, and then from there they're distributed. But with that massive windstorm, the plane couldn't take off, so we had to drive all the fish a couple hours away to a town called Casper, Wyoming, because when they're delivered there, then they go to Denver Airport, where there isn't a massive windstorm. So, but to do that, since it's a long drive to get them there, we have to, leave a few hours early so we can get them there before they close and they get on the plane before the plane leaves. So that made for kind of an interesting day. That's a long day. That's an early morning to get that done. But you're getting them. We got them to Casper in time. They got on the plane. They should be in Denver right about now. And if all goes well, then yeah, you'll have some amazing little critters tomorrow morning. But man, it wasn't easy today getting the fish to you. Usually it is, but every now and then it's like, ooh, okay, can't send them how we usually do. What do we do now? I guess we drive to Casper. I love the website. What's the dev process like? My wife and I are curious as we are professional devs and fish keepers. The dev process is that I have an amazing business partner named Random Arms, aka Jonathan, who's a software engineer. And how we developed the website is we got together and I told him all the things I wanted on a fish website and all the things I hated about other fish websites. And we got a plan together, and he got a schematic together, and then we built the sucker. Well, he built the sucker while I, cheered him on. So that's the dev process. He could give you more detail than that, but basically it's like from first principles, what would be the ideal thing, and then let's build it out to as close to that as we can. So yeah. So yep, that sucker is built from the ground up. That's not an off-the-shelf website. Okay, so now let's see here. What website are we talking about? WhiteDanceFish.com, of course. Okay, there's 230 entries in here, and the winner of the Mop Beard is CR Fish. CR Fish, you have won. You know the rules. You have 2 minutes to chime in. If this timer reaches 2 minutes and you haven't left a chat in the comments, you forfeit your winnings, and someone else gets to wear this luxurious green, beautiful mop beard. You could, dip your chin over the tank, let the fish spawn in it, and then just go walk down the street. No one knows you got a face full of fish eggs. Only you know. It's your little secret. Yeah. CR Fish. Woot woot. All right, CR Fish. Congratulations. Let me write down that CR Fish run the mop beard. Mop beard. All right. There it is. If you would send us an email to hello@dansfish.com, let us know, hey, I'm the guy that won the mop beard, or gal, I don't know. CR, could be anything. Then we'll get you the mop beard. We need your first name, your last name, and your mailing address, because this we do have to physically mail. For folks that want gift certificates, just email us, let us know, and we'll electronically transfer those to you. So that's it for today. That is the Mop Beard giveaway extravaganza for celebrating the holidays in 2005. Thanks so much for participating. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I love, this is my, I don't know. I came up with this one time and it stuck. So every Christmas we kind of do this. So may you enjoy your gift certificates if you won. May you spawn tons of fish in these sweaty spawning mops. Yeah. With that, I want to thank my moderators for moderating, keeping the chat flowing smoothly. I really appreciate your volunteering your time and making that happen. I want to thank the members of the channel and folks that gifted memberships away. Thank you so much. Anyone that threw money at us, thanks for the super chats. Every little bit is appreciated. And we're a small company in the scheme of things, and every little bit helps. But it's also just nice to know that people care enough to throw a little cash to us. That's kind of nice. For everyone that was active in the chat, thanks for participating. Thanks for helping answer questions when I didn't know full or good answers. I appreciate you sharing your expertise with the other folks in the community. That's awesome. Let's keep that up. If you were not active in the chat, I still love you. Hail the Lurker Nation. If you're listening to the replay, hello from the past. And if you're listening to the podcast, thanks for listening. With that, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy whatever you celebrate, and I'll see you after the new year. Until then, I really hope you have a great season. Bye-bye, folks.